Okay, so you're going to make a rocket launch spreadsheet. The way you'll do that is yours will look like this, and then you'll just need to input everybody's data into the first few columns. I'll do it miraculously with one click. Uh, One thing I want you to notice is that the launch pressure is 140 for everybody. Now, you won't have me in there. I just added myself as a fictitious rocket that went the highest so that when you get your answers, I'll know that you calculated them yourself and just didn't get them off the video. All right, so you'll need to convert your altitude from feet into meters. I'll let you Google search um, feet to meters and see what that conversion factor is, and then plug that into your spreadsheet. Then after you've done that, you'll need to make some graphs of the data, but let's do the graphs in feet and not meters. So in order to make a graph, you're going to click on the insert chart, and the first graph that we're going to make is a simple column chart, and we're going to take everybody's name, um, and we're going to graph that. So here's how we do that. We're going to edit the chart. We're going to select our data range that we want, and it's going to come in here. I'm going to select these columns here, and I'm going to add another range because now I want to do everybody's altitude. And then I hit OK. It'll come up with the graph. I'm going to go ahead and move it to its own sheet, and then I can edit the chart. The things that I need to remember to label is I need to give the graph a title. I need to label the X and Y axis, and that's just right here in Edit Chart. You can come to the Customize button and go to the chart title, and you can type the title right here, and then I'll go ahead and do the vertical axis. That, of course, is altitude. So I'm going to write altitude, and I always put my units in parentheses. This is in feet. And then once I've done that, it shows up on the side here. Then right here, you'll need to put in names and then a title for your chart. Then once you've got that finished, you're going to make another graph. This time you're going to make a graph of, it's going to be a scatter graph, which is down here under scatter. And what we are going to graph in this case, we are going to come in here and select our data range, and we are going to look at the whole measurement and how high it went. And then I'll get a graph that looks like this. Remember, you're going to need to go in and label the X and the Y axis on this chart and give it a title other than just altitude and feet. Since this is dealing with the effect of the whole measurement on its altitude, that would be a good title for the graph. And then once you have that one finished, you're going to move it to its own sheet. Then finally, we're going to do one more graph. This one is going to be another scatter chart. However, this one, we're going to look at mass. So we're going to select on our data range. We're going to see how mass affects altitude. We hit OK, and that gives us a different graph here. Then once we're in here, we'll need to edit the chart. Once again, label the X. Looks like the Y is already labeled for us, and then you'll need to give it a better title. once again, the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable. Then once you have those three graphs finished right here, 1, 2, and 3, you're then going to go and we're going to calculate the mass first altitude coefficient. The way we're going to do that is start typing in CORR for coefficient, or sorry, correlation. And this is the one we want, so we click on it. And then we're going to look at the mass. So I'm going to select mass here. Then I put a comma, and I want to look and see how if it correlates to altitude. I'm going to put that one in, and I hit my enter, and I get my mass versus altitude coefficient. And next, I'm going to go in and we're going to do it whole versus altitude coefficient. So in this case, once again, I'm going to hit equals, start typing correlation, and I'm now going to select the whole measurement, comma, and we're going to look at that at altitude. And we get two different numbers, and those numbers will be explained in class, what they mean. And once you've done all that, you have everything you need for this particular part of the screencast, or this particular part of the assignment.